A couple of my favorite trees on campus are some cottonwoods. Here we are again. This is the old seminary building, or the Lakeside Center. And there's a couple of cottonwoods that have just really spectacular scars. So I want to show you this cottonwood. And I'll show you this scar goes all the way to the base of this tree. I think this is probably a lightning scar. And so we'll just follow this scar up, and it kind of spirals around the tree and just keeps going up and keeps going up. And I'm trying to back up without falling on my behind, and you can see this just keeps going up all the way to there. I think that's the top of that scar. So I think this was probably a lightning strike on this tree. But you can see this tree is growing its leaves. So this tree is fully alive, including this branch here. So one of the really cool things about trees is that they can have a lot of dead tissue and still be perfectly healthy. Perfectly alive and functioning, and all these leaves are doing photosynthesis. And you can see there's some holes in that scar up there where probably some woodpeckers have pecked away looking for insects living in that dead wood. But this tree is fully alive. Really cool. Here's Lake Valentine. I thought you'd probably want to see the lake. I'm here on the nature trail. In fact, this is the Russell W. Johnson Neighbor Trail. Don't know if you ever have noticed this sign or not, but this is kind of good to look at this point of our field trip. Let's see if I can orient myself here. The tall grass prairie that I took you to back on the other side of the ball field. Here's the baseball diamond, and here's the tall grass prairie, and then here's the west lot and all the main campus buildings, and here is kind of the seminary complex. And so this is right where we are here. There's Lake Valentine. I'll back up a little bit so you can see all of that stuff. Russell Johnson was a professor, a biology professor here before I came to Bethel. And so he was pretty passionate about nature. And so this trail was made in honor of him. But I really brought you over here to show you one of my favorite cottonwood trees. So this tree in front of us is another tree that has quite the amazing scar. Again, probably a lightning scar. And this was a long time ago, and so you have to kind of know what you're looking for to see the scar. But see, this is it here. And we can follow it. I'll back up and move around the tree. Again, this scar spirals around the tree, going up and up. It's getting into the shade here, so it's a little bit hard to see, but this part of the scar is actually really obvious. And you can see that the tree has grown a lot since this scar first formed. So it has formed a lot of bark, and in another few years, maybe it'll be completely enclosed, and you won't be able to see that crack in the tree. But this just keeps going up, and I don't know if you can see this or not, because we're kind of, I'm aiming kind of into the sun, but there you can see it goes all the way up to about there. And then I'm gonna move around to this other side of the tree so I can give you a little bit better view of it. And you can see this part of this tree has been cut off and just sawed off. And yet, can you imagine like sawing off one of your limbs? And that would like affect you. Obviously, we can live through that too if we have a good surgeon. But trees, you can saw off part of their main stem, and then the other stems are just fine. It's growing leaves, and in fact, both these trees, this one in the foreground, these branches here that you're seeing, these are maple, and you can see these are in flower if you look carefully. And so there's the cottonwood again. It's kind of a gnarly old cottonwood. It's a really big tree. It would probably take more than two of us to put our arms all the way around this tree. And so remember that this cottonwood started out as a little seed attached to a little piece of cotton. In a few weeks, we'll see cotton floating all over the place. And each one of those pieces of cotton is stuck to a seed. And this tree put all this wood together just by pulling carbon dioxide out of the air and making sugar, and then making those sugar molecules, combining those with other sugar molecules to make cellulose, to make all the cell walls in the trunk of this tree. So imagine all the biomass in this tree that just got pulled out of the atmosphere. And if you don't think plants are cool, I don't know what to tell you. They're awesome. I just realized there's a brand new stump here. So this tree was just recently cut down, and here is the wood that resulted from this tree. So that's a lot of biomass there. All that biomass, it's drying out. Pretty soon it's going to be pretty dry, but you know, there's no way I'd be able to lift up one of these logs. Maybe one of you guys would be strong enough, but I can easily lift seeds. So where does that mass come from? Comes from the carbon dioxide in the air. And if you burn this, you would release that carbon dioxide again, and it would release a lot of heat. That heat originally is energy that came from the sun, and we would release it by burning. In case you want to know where this is, we're right next to the Lakeside Center, and down that way is the lake.